This is Miriam Raftery with the East County Magazine radio show on KNSJ 89.1 FM Descanso. Today, my very special guest is Robert Neary, a star of Broadway, TV, and movies. He's also a talented musician and the star of So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience, a live show coming to the Magnolia Theatre in El Cajon on Saturday, October 21st. His uncanny tribute performance will include 22 of Neil Diamond's greatest hits, such as Cherry Cherry, Sweet Caroline, Solitary Man, and others, backed by the Mystic Band. And he's also going to be telling some stories, I understand, behind some of those classic songs. He grew up on Long Island, listening to and mimicking his two favorite artists, Elvis Presley and Neil Diamond. His acting career started with a guest star role on the TV series Fame. Later, he co-starred in the movie Teen Wolf 2 and played Officer Frank Marino, for those of you who are soap opera fans, on General Hospital. He moved to Nashville and recorded 2 solo contemporary gospel projects before moving to LA, where he went on to guest star in over 50 TV shows, such as Criminal Minds, Grey's Anatomy, FBI's Most Wanted, and many more. He also played the lead role of Sonny in the Broadway hit A Bronx Tale, the musical. The real Neil Diamond has retired from performing recently, but it's long been a passion of Robert's to someday put together a tribute show to Neil Diamond, which you can see on October 21st at the Magnolia. So, Robert, welcome. It is a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, as a kid growing up in New York, what first attracted you to Neil Diamond's music? What makes it so special?
I like I had said, I used to listen to Elvis Presley, and I was attracted to Elvis Presley, of course, because of the movies back then in the '60s, and then I would listen to it. And then one day, I remember my older brother, had a really big record collection, and he was playing a Neil Diamond album. And I said, wow, this guy's got like a baritone voice, that really rich baritone voice like Elvis Presley. So I just started listening to him. And and I just really, really took into, to liking his music so much and his voice. Yeah.
You picked 2 of my favorites growing up too. I got to see Elvis Presley in person, never got to see Neil Diamond, was planning to, and then he announced his retirement.
Yeah.
So what musical training did you receive, Robert, and how did your career in acting prepare you for becoming a musical performer?
I actually had no musical training. I taught myself how to play guitar. I taught myself how to play piano. Never took any voice lessons. I just started singing when I was like 5, 6 years old.
Amazing.
When company would come over, aunts and uncles and everybody, I would just, do my little shows in the living room. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be ever since I was a little kid. So I went through high school just, knowing that when I got the chance, I'd move to California and become an actor. And the singing was always there. I did High School Musicals, and I did, some musicals outside of high school. But once I got into acting, once I got to LA, the acting was forefront.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of natural talent.
Yes.
I know it's hard to choose, but do you have a favorite Neil Diamond song? And can you maybe share one of your favorite Neil Diamond stories that people might hear at the Magnolia?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I Am I Said is one of my favorites. Holly Holy and I Am I Said and Shiloh are my 3 favorites. I Am I Said mostly because it's a very personal song, and I actually talk about how it became his most personal song and how he wrote it. And I don't want to divulge any secret right now, but it's
come to the show, folks.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song. It took him 4 months to write it. He was going through a very, very dark time in his life, and that's all I'm going to say. And just once I always loved that song, but once I found out that story and I incorporated it into my show, I really feel for it because he moved from New York to California and, had a big change of life, much like I did when I was younger. And and a lot of people, as far as a story about Neil Diamond, a lot of people ask me if I've ever met him.
Mm-hmm.
And I jokingly say, but it's true. I say, well, I parked his car in Nashville in
No
1995.
That was on my list. I was going to ask what he was like, if you've ever heard from him since you started this tribute.
Well, the truth is, I was recording a couple of gospel albums of my own in Nashville. And I had worked at a valet restaurant, in a very popular restaurant in Nashville. And it was late at night, and the car pulled up, and I opened up the passenger side and he stepped out and he was with his manager, and I said, "Oh my God, you're Neil Diamond." And I shook his hand and we chatted. And then he was in there. They were in there for quite a while. So I told everybody else they can leave. And it was just me at the end. And I gave him the keys. And we were able to chat, and just talk. And I think I
Cool.
have his autograph. But back then, of course,
Nice.
there were no phones with cameras, which would have been great. But
Yeah, the
that's the only
selfies.
time. That's the only time I did get to meet him. However, I was in touch with his wife, Katie, via a third person, a mutual friend,
Mhm.
when I put this show together. I wanted to make sure I was doing everything legitimate. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
stepping on any copyrights or anything.
Yeah, I wonder, what
And
did he think about that? Mhm.
yeah, she gave me she gave me great response. His wife, Katie, gave great response through my friend and said they love the tribute shows and she wishes us the best. And she gave me advice and everything. And I hope really someday that he does get to come and see this. If not this time around LA, maybe next time.
That would be awesome. A couple more quick questions. Let's talk about your acting for a second. You've had starring roles on Broadway, on TV, and movies, as well as a musician. I wonder if you have a couple of memorable moments from that illustrious career that you could share.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Yeah, my favorite, the first time this happened as an actor, as a matter of fact, auditioning and getting roles and auditioning and not getting roles. And then a lot of times going in for certain television shows, especially through the 2000s. Um, I, I kept going in for Criminal Minds. And one day I was driving in the car, my agent calls and she told me about this role on Criminal Minds. And I said, well, what time when's the audition? Can you email me the audition material? And she says, no, 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 no. They're going to hire you. They know you very well. They're just going to, it's straight to
Wow,
offer. And it turned into 2 episodes. It was supposed to be, they told me it's supposed to be about 6 or 7 episodes, but it turned into 2 episodes. I was Giuseppe Montolo. I was a major unsub in season
yeah.
11.
So you get to work with
I,
all the big stars and everything.
oh yeah, they were great. So that being able to just, as an actor, just say, hey, no, 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 it went straight to offer. And most recently, that just happened last year as well.
Wonderful.
I'm so popular now with my show and touring with the Neil Diamond Show. I
Mhm.
told my managers, my acting agents, that I'm getting away from this because the business has shifted and I don't do a lot of auditions. So
Mhm.
I'm not auditioning anymore. And if anybody
Wow.
wants, they know where I am. And she called me one day and she said, "Hey, the Blacklist wants you." And I said, "I'm not auditioning." And she said, "No, no, no, they're offering you the lead role. They
My
want you to come
goodness.
in."
Every
Yeah,
actor's dream, huh?
yeah,
You
exactly.
have to
So
show up.
I'm at a good place where I can at least say that.
Very cool. I want to ask you what advice you might give to up and coming performers. All those young kids like you that are out there listening to this maybe and wanting to make it someday. What advice would you offer to them?
And I say this because my son, actually, I'm taking them to a college meeting today. I'd say to my son and my daughter, you've got something. You can never say I can't. You can never say I can't. You you've got to just keep going. You've just got to keep going. What will happen is if you don't have it, it will be shown. You'll get people who you get close to and say, you know what, maybe something else, or like people who want to be a singer, and they just can't sing. A talented singer or musician that can be brought out. You can take training and that can all be brought out if it's not God given, and you'll know. Once you know that it's there and everybody agrees with you, you just can't say no. You can't say I can't do it. I
Yeah,
can't do it. You just have to keep going. You just have to keep going. You just have to keep going. And
just
if you
follow your
have
dream.
right, and if you have the tenacity and the support of family and friends and loved ones, then you can do it. And again, the only downside is if you don't have it, but you think you have it, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So,
Yeah. Um, I want to play just a real short snip here. Hang on a second. Just 9 seconds. We can legally do this without the music rights licenses, but just a little snippet so people can kind of hear what you sound like here.
oh, if you got something, sure.
There you go, folks. If you didn't know better, you'd think you were listening to Neil Diamond himself. We are just about out of time. Yeah. Is there anything else that, Robert, that you would like our listeners and viewers, I should say, because we're also going to run the video of the interview on our website at eastcountymagazine.org.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we've got double coverage. What else would you like folks to know that I maybe didn't ask?
Well, this is down in San Diego, right around down there.
Yeah,
I was in the lead in the Moonlight Amphitheater, Catch Me If You Can, some 9 years ago.
Oh, good for you.
I played Frank Abagnale Sr. In the Moonlight Catch Me If You Can, so a lot of people might know me already from down there.
There you go.
And this is a tremendous show. It's a tremendous show, and I hope a lot of people.
I've watched the highlights. It looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
So, listeners, for those of you who just tuned in, we've been speaking with Robert Neary, who will be performing live in the tribute concert So Good, The Neil Diamond Experience, coming up at the Magnolia Theatre in downtown El Cajon on Saturday, October 21st. You can get tickets at magnoliasandiego.com, and you can view highlights, hear a little of the music, and learn more at sogoodtheneildiamondexperience.com. Robert, thanks so much once again for taking the time to join us today on the East County Magazine radio show on KNSJ 89.1 FM, Descanso.
Thank you.